Well, you guys, Ron Musgraves here. We're sitting here arguing about whether we have standards and practices in place. The UMCC absolutely has a standard in place. It's worked out perfectly, but I just had to point it out to the entire board of directors last night. The reason we know we have a standard is because we have people that are failing, and we know that there's people that couldn't qualify. Therefore, that's a standard. Does every craft yet have a, let's say, basically some written down guidelines? No, not yet. We don't have them all complete, but we're working on them. We know some are completed. We know some are not completed. We're working on that. Are there manuals for these things? Yes, some have manuals, some don't. Some of the manuals and things will be in the store. Hopefully as March moves into it, we're going to have some of this stuff available in our store as well for sale. We chose to use third-party education because, basically, I've seen for the last 20 years what I've seen, fail. And this is no knock on any other association, but actually some of the associations I actually, like ICA, they chose to outsource their education. And basically, when they started doing that, I saw what a great idea that was, as far as they're not doing any of the in-house training. IWCA, I think, even outsources some of their ladder and high-rise stuff. I don't even think that they have internal systems. But I watched for a lot of years of the PWNA, contractors training contractors. Well, I saw that didn't work. And what happened is you never got any really good training, because no trainer that's a contractor is going to sit there and go, man, I'm really going to tell everybody my secrets and I'm going to show them really well how to do these things. Because contractors training contractors, for the most part, it doesn't work. I'm probably one of the guys out of the entire industry that will tell guys more than most. But so we decided at the UMCC together that the third-party thing was the way to go. And we weren't going to have any alliance with any certain person. It's preposterous to sit here and go, Doug's our training guy, and everybody's got to go to Doug, and it's a monopoly, and we're sending everybody to Doug, and each one of us board of directors, Doug gives us $25 for every person that we send him. Please. It's kind of funny to even think that there are 9 guys that got together and decided that that's what we're going to do. No, Doug's just another trainer in a stable of many. As a matter of fact, we're not turning away anyone right now that wants to do the training for the UAMCC. And our reasons for that is we figured over time that the training will speak for itself. We're even going to have a document down the road, a survey that we're going to give to the person that's certifying as part of the standard, that when they take the training, they'll have to fill out this questionnaire after they've completed their training with someone, so that the organization can get an idea of whether the training was valuable or not valuable, or potentially to let the trainers know that there might be some weaknesses or holes in their training, because the guy might come back and say, yeah, I didn't get a lot of hands-on. And if we start seeing that as a survey in some particular person's training, like Doug, for example, then we would say, hey, Doug, they don't feel like they're getting enough hands-on, and we just thought we might point that out to you, which in essence raises the standards and the practices of the entire training program. Overall, if we can identify those things for these third-party trainers, we can help them better their training system. The bottom line here is that we're trying to overall raise the bar for the entire industry as a whole. It sounds pretty hokey, but the reality of it is that there are thousands of training hours in these test modules already. And we have over 400 hours with current members right now because we've put them through the testing to the test themselves, which people don't even realize that just taking the test, these folks might learn something. The bottom line is being certified going to make you a better contractor than another contractor? I believe it's going to make you better. I don't think it's going to possibly make you better than somebody that's not certified, depending on all their abilities and how long they've actually been, in the craft. But it can't hurt. All it's going to do is help people. Will they be used as a marketing device? Man, you bet I'm going to use it as a marketing tool for myself. It's great for the first time in the industry that we could have a collective body of people promoting a higher standard collectively and together. Because for the last 25 years, we haven't had it happen. And we are definitely, this is definitely a goal. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do co-op marketing with it. We are absolutely going to use it. The reason I feel comfortable in saying that is because we have a year criteria on no one can hold a certification under a year. No one can opt out of all the training until they're over 5 years. And we decide that 5-year mark because we don't think that a guy that's been in business for 5 or 10 years should need to go to a third-party training source to get credit hours when he can establish he's had 10 years of experience on the job. I think it's a little bit foolish for me to tell them that they're going to have to go to AC's or Pete's or Everett's or somebody's school and say, you've got to go over there and obtain credit hours in order to take this certification. It's absolutely absurd. So just like in a university, people can opt out. They can test and opt out of a course, and you go there and take a math test. Doesn't mean you got to take remedial math. You've opted out. You might test into regular math. You might test into algebra. You might test into trigonometry. But the bottom line is we're not going to put somebody that's good at math in a remedial course. It's the same thing with the UMCC. We're not sending them to Doug's, beginning pressure washing school if they've been in business for 10 years. Heck, Doug doesn't even want a guy that's been in business for 10 years coming to his school. I use Doug only as an example there because we're not sending exclusively everybody to Doug. Doug's just one of many choices on the third-party training schedule, and we're taking more guys on that third-party training schedule. We'll take as many as we can get on it, and by process of elimination of giving poor training, these guys are going to weed themselves out. Let me go into this. Let me go into the sign-off for the affidavit for training. If they get a certificate that says they've completed a training course, and on the certificate is the amount of hours, we don't need a trainer to sign off on the hours because it's stated right there on the certificate, and we're only requiring 5 hours of training between 1 and 5 years, which is pretty reasonable. It's not a lot of training. We're figuring that the 1 year time is going to allot for some of the real hours that the people have put in the field. We don't have an estimate for that yet. We may work on something later on to figure out what that is, but we do know that if they've got that 5 hours on the certificate, then the trainer would not have to sign that affidavit saying it. Now, if it's an institution like the PWNA, we simply know that the PWNA certificate represents X amount of hours, and if they don't have it on there, we know that certificate, because they sign one affidavit saying that certificate means, if we see that certificate, it's always X amount of hours, and we know that hour meets our criteria. We don't have to have a signature every time somebody brings a certificate. We just need one document that says that certificate means X amount of hours. And then anytime we see that document, we know that document represents that many hours. And it's that simple. No one has to make a big ordeal over this. Is it waiving the liability? You may say that it is. You may say that it's not. I'm not an attorney. The bottom line in it, the reason that we did it is because, again, there's a standard that we set, pretty slick, that we're going to go through a process that's going to be verifiable, not a joke process of, yeah, he He called me the other day and we talked for 2 hours and I'm giving him credit for talking for 5. You know, that doesn't work in a national association. We have to have accountability. Things have to be fair across the board and they have to be very transparent. And if you were a member of the association and you were in the certification module, as many of these guys can tell you, that everything is right there out in the open and everybody's documentation is right there for everybody to see, and everybody had to go through the same process in the last 2 months that had to be certified. I myself had to follow that process. Every board of director had to follow that process. Wait a minute. Let's just say that's standard, because that's what it is. It's a standard. And some people didn't realize it, that right there we are setting the standards. And that's it. So it's all in place. There's nothing being done underhanded. There's nothing being done here that's illegal. As far as all the other details, come over to the UAMCC, come over here to PWI. I can't answer your questions over there at the grime scene. Love to answer them. We're not going to get belligerent. You're not going to call me a liar. I'm not going to call you a clown. If we can be respectful towards one another, you can get the questions answered. If you don't want to come over here, I understand you don't really want the real answers. You don't want the honest truth. You just want to run your mouths over there and lead more into deception about what we're doing. And that's a shame. That's a shame, as what I thought you guys were as leaders in the industry. And that includes you, John. That includes you, Rob, and Michael. You guys all, if you want the truth and you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, come on over. We're not hiding anything over here. Everybody here is working hard towards one common goal, and that's to better this industry, that's to better this association, and that's to bring real tangible benefits to this industry and to the contractors. That's what we're doing over here at the UAMCC. And you know what? It's open to anybody that wants to be positive about it. If you don't want to be positive about it, believe me, we've got a real quick, boom, we're done. We are not going to tolerate that kind of behavior over here at the UAMCC. You guys have a great day. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Window Cleaning Institute, out.